Peace to your feet, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the streets to the world, get the real, no cap. Breaking headlines, put the truth on the map. Yo, fast with the facts, we don't play no games. Report on what's real, we ain't chasing fame. Call Peace TV, stay locked, stay tuned. If you want the real talk, we deliver it soon. Call Peace TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the
Jarvis like that. I done went to some of her kids' birthday. He wasn't there. Jarvis, it's weird, like the relationship that they had, because they was messing around with each other, but you never saw them together. She would post stuff on her Facebook and block his face out, so then we'd be like, oh, that must be Jarvis.
Hey y'all, hey, back with another video. Of course, y'all heard the video that I just played, and yes, I'm just trying to figure out where was I lying at, because she made this statement after my Disney trip video. She went over there on Shank Rock's platform and she literally said this, and I'm trying to see where did I lie at. Yes, I'm being petty because I put the picture of Jarvis with his face blocked out. That's what I'm saying. I use they words against them, and I keep saying they always tell when they talk. So I just want to come back and do a video because people was telling me about this live, so I just decided to go and do it on this nice Sunday, since I just got done cooking my Sunday dinner and preparing for the week. So in this video, we're going to be going over Shank Rock's live that he did with Kiwana, Janelle, and Kenya, and I'm going to give my input on things that has been said. So y'all stay tuned.
For you to keep always trying to make it like we the problem when y'all started the problem. You want to get on here, act so fucking humble, Kenya, when you were grown, when you were older than everybody, and you have been starting shit from the jump. And I'm gonna tell you why you started shit. You want the honest to God truth of why you starting shit? Because you knew I had to drop on you and your daughter. And the drop was that your fucking daughter lied about everything. And people wonder why Kiwana is so upset. Because I've had to sit back and watch y'all draw all these fake, false fucking narratives when it came to Naziah. Your daughter lied and said she didn't come here until February. When your daughter was in and out the city from November to January, she left January the 2nd. Her house was pending sale January the 4th. She left driving back to Texas January the 6th. Naziah came up missing January the 9th. Okay, so the sale, done, darling. The sale on her house closed out January the 22nd. That is information SD got on her own.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Kiwana. What
you don't have to ask me anything. I want you to go check the facts first. I want everybody to check the facts before you ask me anything. I want to ask you, am I lying or telling the truth?
What part does that have to do with Naziah? What part does
everything. That have to do? It has everything to do with Naziah.
What part does that have to do with?
No, you shut the fuck up, bitch.
Kiwana, she didn't come up missing to the 9th. What part of Rockland?
And your daughter lied. Why was your daughter lying about being in the city? What was the point of her lying? What was the point of her lying? The moment I told Mardi, the moment me and Mardi talked about it, just on me being her big cousin, saying, well, I'm going to kick it with my cousin, see what's going on, see what's in the air. Because we had a conversation about it, right?
So I wonder where Kiwana is going with this, because what I'm getting out of listening to this is that she's saying that Roxy, not saying, allegedly, what I'm thinking she's saying is that Roxy played a part in knowing where Naziah is and what happened with her. Let's keep listening.
Because we had a conversation about it, right? Your daughter got mad at me and Janelle saying, why didn't we tell her she was in danger from following the lead of Tammy, going to all these people's houses, putting them on live, getting them investigated, getting guns took out the house, getting dope took out their house, getting them arrested,
Okay,
saying that a psychic
you're
told
gonna
me you
have to
kidnapped
pause
my
her so
little
I can
cousin.
comment on some of the stuff because she's just gonna keep going and going. If we're gonna have a
Yeah.
discussion, we're
We're
gonna
gonna
have a
get it
discussion.
all
You're gonna
out so
have to
you can stop
pause
lying and
before the things
lying.
that
You
you're
lying and
saying.
lying. And people
No,
making
no,
you feel
no.
special.
You're gonna have to pause in between the things that you're saying so I can respond. Key one. Like, who is you to say anything about her being down here? Naziah wasn't missing. She wasn't making CPS reports against Annette and them. That wasn't her problem. She wasn't dealing with that. We didn't know nothing about that was going on until you brought it to me. And that was in January 23. So you had already knew things was going on prior to a whole year. But you say you wasn't in there until 22. But on all your interviews, you act like you've been knowing. Man, stop it. She can rebuttal. Very
All
loud.
right. Come on, Kiwan.
I'm done with her mess. Now she's asking the question of why did it matter when Roxy was in Detroit, throwing party after party, celebration after celebration, drink after drink, spending money after monies. Why did it matter when she was in the city and it was only about her partying? I'm gonna give you an answer as to why it mattered. Because SA was already a topic. It was already a topic. In fact, she was already in communication with Shannon and Marquita. She was already talking to Shannon day in, but basically day out messages. That's where you get all those messages from. So for her to be able to come to the city and party when she knew about what was going on in the household.
So basically, she's saying Roxy knew that it was SA going around before Naziah came up missing. So she's basically saying that Roxy was still talking to Marquita, them, Shannon, and Annette, even after uh, Naziah came up missing. Even Kenya was. This is what uh, Kiwana is saying. But I said the same thing. Everybody knew about the SA going on, but nobody, and everybody just kept going on about their life and chilling and kicking it with the family. So, what's so wrong with content creators saying this same thing that Kiwana is saying? Like, they proving what we saying. Let's keep going.
Household, not even the fact that we're not just going to speak about the fact that she was threatening us about going after Jarvis and saying she was coming to the city to whoop whoever's ass is talking about her cousin, man, is a pedophile. That was before she touched down to the city. So you know all these things and you got time to come to Detroit.
My cousin truly does have a mental problem. And if you don't side with her, then she gets to arguing with you. If you ain't seeing things her way, she gets to arguing with you. She's very jealous. She doesn't have nothing but 3 children that she gave birth to. She's a jealous hearted person. She's never been able to accomplish nothing but give 3 births. That's it. I'm so sick of her trying to act like she's the victim. If you listen to all her things that it's me, and we, me and Jernell. It's sad.
Hey, can you hear me? My question was, she's asking why am I so concerned with the fact that her daughter was up here having party after party, throwing party after party. Roxy started being in Detroit in November. She was in here from November to January. Okay. And again, her house was pending sale the 2nd of January. The sale closed January 22nd. Now she asks, why do I have a problem with that? Because she was already in understanding of the essay going on in the home. She already knew what was going on. Kenya already knew we were at war with the household arguments, fights, you name it. Kenya knew that. That was what the phone conversation was about when I contacted her. So if your daughter had the time to, once it was beneficial, to come to this to front like she didn't make it to the city until late February when she started doing all this searching, when it was already searches going on, okay, and they had already had most of the evidence that they have now, they already had it, and they told us we didn't need to search. The head of investigation shut Roxy down and told her, whatever you doing is causing danger, and you need to stop, because she was going to men houses because off of Tammy. And let's talk about Tammy real quick, and I'm gonna get back. Tammy man, her husband, was what is it? He was charged for kidnapping. Okay, for kidnapping. So my thing is, and she said I call her Scammy Tammy. No, I was directing everyone to TikTok, where she's had many families that come out with a story and saying Tammy scammed them. It's why wasn't she this um concerned prior to Naziah coming up missing? Once Naziah came up missing, she took off. She went and seeked out Mark D, went to where he was. They got cool. Boom. Now she's 7 Mile Radio. Great.
That's what she mad about.
Great. No, I don't have to be
That's
mad,
what she
darling.
mad
If,
about.
if you want to know what I feel some type of way about, is because me and other family members know that your daughter wanted to be in the media prior to. We know that. I can name
So
several names. I can
so
name several names.
so
So let me finish.
jealous,
So she had
jealous.
she had all the energy in the world to come here after the tragedy happened, go sought out Mark, who was Janelle's friend, go sort out psychics, and go on wild juice traces, and none of this energy when before the tragedy happened. Why go against me and Janelle while we out going against the household, while we out arguing? It came to a point where I had to check them about, why are y'all still communicating with Marquita and Shannon at all? If
You
in the
were not
event,
trying.
excuse me. Oh, I
It
don't
was,
have to lie. I got the messages, darling. I
yeah,
got the
show 'em.
messages, darling.
Show 'em.
I
Send them the
absolutely
text
do.
right.
And I absolutely
Send
can.
them the text.
I already dropped several. Those are the ones that proved your daughter was in the city. That's why you mad.
Before
Now,
Nazariah came up missing,
excuse me, Shake Rock, can you mute mouth? Because I want to finish talking. But when this happened to Naziah, y'all wanted to be seen so bad.
mm,
Our problem with it was, why weren't you guys fighting with us in the beginning? Why were we being threatened? Why was it being said asses is gonna get whooped for defending, for going against Jarvis?
mm,
Why? Oh,
okay,
you don't play dumb. Don't play
okay.
dumb. You know it's true. Because you and your daughter was arguing on your Facebook. You know it. Your
Um,
daughter came in and talked
we
about
can
what type
go
of
into
mother you
bullshit.
were. Your daughter said, worry about the
We
type
can
of
go
mother
into
you've been
bullshit.
to your kids, and how you haven't been a mother to your children. That's what
Mm,
your daughter wanted to talk about.
okay,
You and your daughter started going back and forth on
okay.
Facebook because she joined forces with Marquita and Shannon.
Mm, mm, mm.
Oh, it's not true.
No, it's
Is
not.
it not true? She know
No.
it's true.
Okay, let me respond. Because if people really go back and look at all the interviews you did, they will see each and every lie you done told. See, because you keep saying different shit. So you mad. You mad because Roxy went on social media, something you and Janelle said y'all didn't want to do, to expose the story. Oh, and when I was on social media about it, it was about Annette's sister, daughter, and Janiyah. It wasn't about Naziah because you didn't say nothing about Naziah. And even let me go to prove this part, right? So that one broadcast job y'all was on, you and Janelle, and you was like, yeah, because it was all three of them. It was all three of them. And Janelle was like, yeah. And then about 10 minutes after that, Janelle said, oh, yeah, the two. Yeah, I caught that one. The two kids you told me about. So as far as Naziah, there was nothing to say about Naziah because you didn't say Naziah was included in that stuff. You left her out because we know that you're a gatekeeper. We know that you like to try to be in control. Just like I asked you for Vari's number when you told me he was out on the streets and you never gave it to me. And then you told me, oh, he keep calling me from different numbers. So I'll let a whole lot of stuff that don't have nothing to do with Naziah. You talking about somebody else raised my kids or something? I'd like to know who else raised my kids. I'd like to know. I really like to know who raised my kids. Because me and they daddy raised them separately, but ain't nobody else raised my kids. So I don't know what you're trying to do, but you need to stop. Because ain't nobody raised mine. You understand?
I'm sorry.
Ain't
You said
nobody
what about Naziah? What did you say about Naziah, Kenya?
you need to
What's
keep
she?
your
Hold tight, Kiwan. I gotta let her speak her piece, and then you could come in. Go in and finish, Kenya. Come on up, Janelle.
You need to be more focused on Naziah and what has happened to her to get to the end of whatever has happened to her. That's what you need to be focused on. You don't need to be focused on what's going on in my life, what has gone on in my life, what's going on in my daughter's life, what's going on in my daughter-in-law life. You don't need to be focused on none of that, Kiwana. It ain't nobody business. But you put business out here that ain't nobody business. You did that. You and Janelle did that. Y'all did that. We never said that y'all didn't do nothing. We didn't take no credit from y'all. We didn't. We just went to the social media because that's what y'all didn't want to do. We was out there searching. Y'all didn't show up to none of the searches. Y'all didn't show up to nothing. Y'all didn't even show up to the balloon release that we had right across the street from Annette house. Y'all didn't even show up to that. Y'all knew about that. So why you want to keep pointing a finger, it just sounds like you're mad because a lot of people know Roxy's name. That's what it sounds like to me.
See, this is sad. I did not know they had the balloon release across the street from Annette's house. That's crazy. And none of them showed up, not Annette, Shannon, Marquita. Allegedly, from what we know of, we don't see them in any photos. And then she says Janelle and Kiwana didn't show up. Ciao. Seems to me like, for real, nobody cared. Let's keep going.
Stop it. Because I ain't said nothing about you and your kids. God damn it. Not a motherfucking thing. I ain't said nothing about what you did to Crystal, her baby. I ain't putting none of that shit out there. Don't think that I don't know about what you did, because I do. You ain't no clean bitch. I know a whole lot about you. So I suggest you stop with the bullshit, Kiwana. That's what I suggest you do, because you ain't in control of shit but yourself. But you keep running your motherfucking mouth on some bullshit, and it's going to catch up to your ass. And I'm sick of it. So stop and focus your ass back on Naziah and show up in court for her each and every day, like Roxy did for the motherfucking trials that you did not show up to one. You are Janelle. But y'all want to be on these motherfucking posters talking shit. Shut up.
Child, Kiwana done pissed Kenya off. She is pissed. When I listened to this, I didn't want to laugh. I'm still not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at the fact that Kiwana done literally pushed a button with Kenya, and she's sick of Kiwana ass. It's the same for Kiwana. I don't know what it is, but these two, they literally despise each other. Let's keep going.
Because it's justice for Naziah. As far as content creators, I don't know where they're getting their information for, but it's a lot of lies. A lot of lies, a lot of assumptions. Talk the Disney trip. Jarvis was not on the Disney trip with us. That is not a picture of Jarvis. I went and found a picture on Shannon's page. I didn't even realize that Shannon had took the picture. She take pictures and post them on her page. I didn't see the picture. I wasn't tagged in or anything, but I went and looked it up the other day. That picture is a picture of my son holding the baby. And now they want to say it's Jarvis. And then all these other rumors that I'm hearing about me having a relationship with King. I don't even know who the hell King is. I don't even know who he is. I didn't even know he was going to be on that stand that day when he went. And as far as us not going to court, we were advised not to go to court. That's why we didn't go to court. See, everybody trying to worry about what everybody else doing instead of keeping up with what they supposed to be doing. Obviously, if you had a thought, some common sense, you would have knew, oh, they must not be here for a reason. We was at all the other court dates. So it was a reason why we wasn't there. When you think that. And another thing is, I don't think that nobody should be sitting up intimidating no witnesses. That's a big thing that's going on with this.
Child, am I losing my motherfucking mind? Like, no, for real. Am I losing my mind? Did this woman just say that that was not Jarvis on that trip? Did y'all hear the video that was playing right before I came in and started talking in the beginning? If not, let's play that again.
Jarvis like that. I done went to some of her kids' birthday. He wasn't there. Jarvis, it's weird, like the relationship that they had, because they was messing around with each other, but you never saw them together. She would post stuff on her Facebook and block his face out, so then we'd be like, oh, that must be Jarvis.
Am I crazy? Because I literally said everything she just said. She confirmed what I said, that this is Jarvis. And when Shannon posts him, she cuts his face off. But everybody knows that it's Jarvis because she's cutting his face out the picture. She literally just said that. But she said that that's her son, right? Okay, let me break this down to y'all. Let's keep going.
Shannon's 31, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think his oldest daughter is around the age of 26, 27. He's my age. He's 42.
Yeah.
Y'all heard her say that her and Jarvis is the same age. So she's 42, which means that she was born 1983, which will make her in 2019 36, I believe. Yes, she was 36. She goes on to say on another podcast that she was 20 years old when she had her first son, right? Let me play that.
She wasn't having that, but she stayed on top of me. She knew what I was doing, like what I was wearing, and if she saw me wearing sweatshirts and stuff all the time, she would have. I was 20 years old when I got pregnant with my first child.
Yeah, so she said she was 20 when she got pregnant with her first son, which means she had her son about 2021, which will make her son in 2019 around 15 or 16 years old. He was born, 2003? And she also states that her son and Marquita's son is 2 weeks apart. So you telling me that this is a 15 to 16-year-old boy in this picture? Yeah, I beg to differ. I think not. Let's keep going.
Janelle, go ahead, keep on.
So she basically just said what I did to my kids. I apologize. I don't want to hop off subject, everyone, but she blatantly just set up here and lied, and that's how stuff spin off. What I did to my kids and what I did to Crystal Baby. Bring your receipts with Crystal Baby, because I can tell the whole story about exactly what happened with Crystal and her baby.
Well, what happened? Well, what happened? What happened? Tell us what happened. I know what happened.
Kiwana just said that that's not what happened.
All you do is lie.
Oh, no, honey, that's you.
But come on, what happened? Your kids.
What happened?
You don't want to
ain't nothing happened to my kids. I can get off all my kids over here.
Okay, hold up. What's the question, Shane?
We know what you did to Crystal Baby.
So what we do? What I do?
We know you didn't protect your own sister. We know you didn't protect your own sister.
Protect my sister at the age of 24 years old.
Kiwana and Kenya, I'm gonna let y'all cool down. Hold tight. I want to talk to Janelle. All right. So Kenya and Kiwana, y'all just hold. Why would you think it would be a mistrial?
We don't have a body, and then people on the internet making all these different accusations and all these internet detectives and throwing out these different scenarios, and Shannon did it, and this person did it, and that person did it, and bringing new characters into the whole thing. Like, it's people popping up that have in this situation that I don't even know. They had something to do with it, and we saw Nazaya over here, and we saw Nazaya over there. All the assumptions and the false accusations, the things that are not facts.
And so you think that'll hurt the case? That's hurting the case?
Yeah, we don't have a body. From the evidence that they didn't present it, that's a lot. I don't know what else they got completely, but you throwing out all this different types of stuff. You better be sure, just as the police are watching this, his defense is watching this. Be telling me stuff or whatever. I really don't keep up with it, but a little bit, the Disney trip, that is not Jarvis. That is my son. I don't know King. I've never had a relationship with King. And then people are okay. If people want to be upset with me for how I handle the situation, I handle it to the best I can in every situation. When I found out he was a sex offender, I looked to see if he was on the registry. He was not. I reported it. I called back to find out about him being around children. They told me he didn't have any restrictions. I talked to Shannon constantly, over and over again. Why are you with him? Leave him alone. You know he got a history, this, that, and the other. He don't even treat you and your kids well. Leave him alone. Stop having babies by him. You're arguing on the internet with this one and that one, and he denying your kids and all that. Leave him alone. Why is he around? She would say, oh, we not together. Next thing you know, she's pregnant. And we like, I thought you were. Oh, this ain't his baby. And then the next thing you know, the baby come out, baby look just like him. I can't make a grown woman do anything. You can lead a horse to water. You cannot make them drink. Shannon came to me with this information. I'm not sure exactly what she thought I was going to do about it, but I went and did what I was supposed to do. I reported the shit because she wasn't doing anything about it. She didn't believe that it was serious. For some reason, she wanted to protect Jarvis even after the CPS case was filed. She lied to CPS. I reported everything when I found out about it. I ain't gonna if I knew better, I would have did better. I haven't really found any other avenue that I could have taken besides the ones I took.
We get all that, and I understand where Janelle is coming from. Shannon is grown. She is not living inside their home and she can't make them do things. But all we are saying over here on this platform is the fact that you knew he was a pedophile and all of these things, but he was still being able to go to events and be around family, and family was okay with him being around. That's just that. Let's keep going. Oh, and she talking about people, content creators, throwing out these different scenarios. This and third gonna get Jarvis off. That's crazy that she's saying that, because hell, Kiwana is gonna throw people for a loop when she sit here and say that Roxy and Kenya know where Nazaya is and all of these things. Like, she putting a theory out there as well. So they be going and talk about what content creators is doing, but they be doing the same shit. Let's keep going. Y'all listen.
Not true or inaccurate.
Can you tell us anything about Art Gamble?
Who?
Art Gamble.
Who? Oh, Eric?
Yes.
That's Annette's brother. I've met him a few times. Like, if I was over to Annette's house, I've met him a few times, like family gatherings. Other than that, I don't know him. You have to understand, me and Annette are half sisters. We did not grow up in the same house. We are like 20-something years apart. Me and one of Annette's children are the same age. We were born the same year. So I was a child for a long period of time around Annette. I hadn't been around them for years and then got back in touch with them in 2011. So I don't know a lot of these people. And then some of them I've just met in passing. Like, if it was a like Shannon and Marquita Prime, or one of the kids' birthday parties or something like that. And no, I was not at every single gathering. That's the reason why I don't know a lot of this stuff or a lot of these people. My niece, she looked up to me. I tried to be a mentor for her. But no, I was not in her life 24/7 to know exactly what she was doing, when she was doing it, or who she was with.
I'll let Kiwana come back in. Kenya, y'all can come back in.
I just wanted to say real quick, as far as the carjacking goes, that wasn't something that that case was dismissed. Okay. The reason why my name was brought into it is because a lady told the investigators, basically my cousin put my name in it, and I was picked up by marshals. I fought I fought my case. I had two attorneys, and my case was dismissed. It was not expunged. The witness for lady served time for it. My name never would have been through in the mix if it was never mentioned. However, it was, and the fact that it was, I had to fight a case. That's that. I was never convicted. The case was dismissed because the judge felt it feasible. I just want everybody to go ahead and leave that one alone, because that's not.
I'm wondering why Lady would throw Kiwana name in it if they weren't together or had anything to do with it when it happened. But that leads me to wonder, because I know it was said that Kiwana and Lady was hanging together at a point in time, doing whatever it is they do allegedly. But let's keep going.
When she spoke about my sister, I keep hearing this conversation about my sister, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do what it needs to be done. My sister told me at 24 years old that Marquita and Shannon had sexually touched her. She told me this because I want to say that my sister has a problem. She has a problem, okay? She has touched people's children, okay? Kenya want to sit up here and play this game like she don't know what's going on, and that's why I don't respect her, because she's full of it. If my sister if I tell her, and I'm not her, she has a sister that's closer in age to her than me. Matter of fact, she has a sister that's Marquita and Shannon's exact age. It's like she keep trying to put this off on me when she know me and my sister been at odds. She know that, but she's playing a little game here. That's what she's doing. Like it's a game, and it's really not a game at all. Okay, so when she told me at the age of 24, it looks like it's lagging. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. When I did find out about this at the age of 24, Sierra has always had a very close relationship with Shannon and Marquita. In fact, from my understanding, she's still close to Marquita. In fact, they were just hanging with each other over the past summer, and this is what they do. Sierra didn't want to go against Shannon and Marquita. They've always been really close. They've always been really close. So you asking me to do something, to tell an adult to do something that an adult don't want to do, is crazy. She didn't come to me as a child and say anything about what happened. I did not find out until she was 24 years old, and I didn't understand why that was being said on the podcast in the first place. I was clueless when I saw it. I was very clueless. Sierra has always been close to them. And the only reason why she wasn't, I guess, because of Roxy was able to tell her not to be, or to come have a conversation about it. But throughout this whole thing with Naziah, she was always talking to Shannon and Marquita, even on down to after Naziah came up missing. Prior to, their relationship was never cut off. It was never cut off. Question to be answered, that we were born into a dysfunctional family. The answer that I'm going to give you guys is yes. This is something that we had no choice. Yes, we were taught that physical abuse, in the way that this beating, which a lot of black families are, is a normal thing. There's a lot of children that beat their kids with switches and stitching cords and so on. Okay, so I have, yes, suffered abuse physically in Annette's home, and I've always been adamant about protecting Lady and her children. In fact, I told Lady not to let her kids go live with my auntie Annette. And people say, well, why are you calling her their auntie Annette? She's always been called my auntie Annette. For Pete's sake, she's my mother's sister, my late mother's sister. I considered her next up as mom. You know, my mother's no longer living, nor was my mother getting along with her sister before she left Earth. Okay, so we can't help as the younger generation, my generation, the generation under what we were born into. But the generations over, like Kenya, the generations over her and over her, they know what's going on. Kenya, you got a story too, but you want to sit and act like you don't have a story of your own that you ain't you chose not yet to tell. But you said, "Oh, what did you do about your sister?" What's your story, Kenya? You know about the abuse and things that I don't even know of from as far as the older generations go. I can't help what I was born into, but what I can do is recognize when I see things that's not right and take a stand. Me fighting for Nazaya and those kids in the home was me taking a stand. It was me seeing me as a little girl, lady as a little girl, not understanding that we shouldn't be whooped with this. We shouldn't be whooped with that until I was an adult. It was me taking a stand. It was me fighting back. It was me saying no, but nobody was listening. Nobody was hearing me. Not even Kenya, not even Roxy, until everything went wrong and this thing happened to Nazaya.
Now, I'm going to give it to Kiwana. This is the most vulnerable, honest I've seen and felt she has been throughout this whole thing. You could tell she was really speaking from the heart. And she admitted to the family curse. Like, she admitted to things that at one point she thought was okay because that is what they were born into and this is what they were living in. But that made me feel away. Hearing her like honestly speak and speak from the heart. Let's keep going.
So I said that to say, y'all right. It is generational curse. I'm not in denial about that. But what do I do other than try to protect my children? You know, and any other child I can protect. And that's what I was doing. So it's very hurtful when people say you didn't do nothing. Or your own family members try to lie on you and say you didn't do nothing. When I've been screaming to the top of my lungs. When me going against my auntie Annette was me doing just that, facing my fears. Because she's Auntie Annette. She's like the matriarch in the family. Like everybody loves Auntie Annette, respects Auntie Annette in the family. This was a big deal for me. And so, again, as far as my sister is concerned, she has to stand on her own truth. She has to stand on her, and that's what I wanted to see her do. If anything, she went on that podcast and played this little game instead of standing in her truth. You can't say, "Oh, I want an apology here, here, and there," but you don't stand on yours. That's not right. I don't respect that at all.
Yes. So your sister, yeah, as a matter of fact, you said that Roxy got your sister on Mark D's show
She
to
be
get
worried
at
about the
you.
wrong shit.
What was that?
Now go ahead. Let us speak, Kiwana. Go ahead, Kenya.
You said that Roxy got at you and got Sierra on Mark D's show to get at you. So let me tell you this. Your sister ran into Mark D and took a picture with him and told him she wanted to go on his podcast. Your sister got to his podcast. She called Roxy and let her know that she was going on to Mark D's show and she would like for Roxy to be there to support her. And that is why Roxy was there. So now you know your sister ran into Mark D and asked him to come on that show and tell her story. It didn't have nothing to do with Roxy. Your sister called her and asked her to come and support her. So now you know while you're dismissing what has happened to her. Because you could tell clearly she was hurt behind what has happened to her. And the thing that's got me is how in the fuck do you know who everybody in the family is keeping in contact with and all these conversations they done had with them? How do you know what people are doing day to day in their own houses? How do you know that? I don't know what you do in your house. I mean, I'm sorry, your roach infested apartment. Oops, let me stop. Anyway, you need to stop. You just saying all kind of stuff. And you wrong. Your sister clearly was hurt behind what had happened to her. And I believe her. But you're dismissing that. And you literally said, oh, that was just to get at me. It's all about Kiwana. It ain't about nobody else. It's about Kiwana. And they're getting at me. And they're throwing lies out on me. Man, you need to stop. You really do.
You know what Sierra did, don't you? You a
No, I
devil.
don't.
You
No,
yes, you do.
no,
You a whole demon sitting up
no,
there,
I don't.
and you keep speaking on stuff that you know the things that Sierra has done
And
to
did
other
you know?
children.
Oh, and I
Let me
wasn't
know.
finished. I wasn't
Can I
finished.
finish? Can I
Did you
finish? Can
know
I
that?
finish?
Did you know
Can I
that
finish?
we left here in 1981 and moved to California, and I didn't come back here till I was 2 weeks from turning
Girl,
16? Did
just
you
like
know
you
that?
drive trucks out of
Did you
town,
know
but
that?
you drive trucks for Chrysler, you go right across the street.
I don't
You done
drive
lied to these
anymore.
people. You lied to these people and said you drive trucks out of town. You go from one side of the street to the other one. That's what you was doing during the Nasiah thing. Now you drive trucks when you everybody know when you got that truck.
What the
But before
fuck that
that,
do? I'm driving got to do with anything? I
That
don't
truth
drive
there
a
coming
go the
out.
truth,
Chrysler.
bitch.
That truth
There go the
coming
truth,
out.
Yeah,
bitch.
bitch.
You
Uh-oh.
got
I'm
truck,
trying to go
bitch. Shut
Uh-oh.
up. She blatantly
Uh-oh.
lying. She's lying like she been in and out of town, bitch. You worked across the street from Chrysler. She drove a truck from Chrysler across the motherfucking street.
I don't
But
work
you was
for
out of
Chrysler.
town.
I don't work
You
for
a
Chrysler.
liar. Yes, you did. You drove a
I
truck
don't work.
across
I
the
drive an
street
eight
and they
axle truck.
fired your ass.
I
They
drive an eight
fired you.
axle
You got
flatbed truck, and
fired
it
from
does
being
not go to
messy.
Chrysler.
You
Shut
got
up.
fired. She's a lying bitch. Trying
I
to sit
drive an
here
eight axle truck,
knowing what
too,
Sierra
and it ain't for
is.
Chrysler. It
Listen,
ain't
listen,
for
listen,
Chrysler. It
listen,
ain't
listen,
for
listen,
Chrysler.
Shank. That's my sister. That's my sister.
Man,
And I'm trying my
man,
best to sit here and be humble.
I don't work
I'm
for
trying
Chrysler.
my
I don't
best
drive for
to
Chrysler.
sit here and be humble. But this demon bitch, she know that Sierra need help. She need help, and she gonna
You
sit here and make it like she just a victim. She's victimized other children. You demon bitch, and you know it. You know it, you demon bitch. You know it.
I don't know
That's why
anything
I
about
throw her
that.
in the beauty supply. That's why I put my hands on her, you demon bitch. And you took her side and said, you're wrong. You're wrong. When she was in the wrong for the shit that she did to all these motherfucking kids. You demon
You're a
bitch.
pathetic excuse of an elder in our
You a
family.
demon ass
And I'm
bitch.
ashamed to call you my cousin.
I fucking
I'm
hate you,
ashamed to
dog.
say that I'm related to you.
I fucking
You're
hate you.
pathetic and you
I
She
hate
ain't gonna
you
shouldn't
talk
exist.
about
too.
what happened to her
You
kids.
You're
shouldn't be
you're
considered
jealous
a
Bitch, you
son.
hearted.
ain't talking to the
You're
You're
fucking your
jealous
adopted
hearted.
brother. You were fucking your
I
adopted
don't
brother,
have no
bitch.
adopted
You
brother.
left your kids out of
I don't,
town, and motherfuckers had to go get your kids because you was chasing a man out of town. You left your
what?
children out of town,
What the
bitch.
fuck is
You
you
was
talking
taking
about?
money
You
from
got the
your
wrong
mama
cousin.
before
You
she
got the wrong
died.
cousin.
God is my witness, Shank. My older cousins had to check this bitch for fucking stealing from her own mama on her deathbed. You dirty bitch.
Girl, my
You a
mama died
demon.
in Vegas. What is you
You
talking about? My
fucking
mama died
demon.
in
You was
Vegas.
stealing money from your mama.
My mama died
Nobody in
in
the family
Vegas.
fucks with you, Kenya.
Tijuana,
Nobody likes you. You stole
Tijuana,
kids' identity. She
Tijuana,
stole children's identity, social
Tijuana,
security numbers, and
Tijuana.
ran up light
You
bills,
mad?
gas bills,
You
and
mad?
scams.
You
You
mad?
lying
You
demon
mad?
bitch.
You mad, ain't you? Huh?
Ooh, child. Kiwana said that Kenya was sleeping with her adopted brother. Now, this is the adopted brother that she's talking about, because this is Roxy's dad. And Roxy came out with a story saying that Kenya was raped by him, and that's how she came into the world. So that's what Kenya must have told Roxy, is that she was raped by him. But see, Kiwana is saying that she was like literally sleeping with this man at the time when she got pregnant with Roxy. And I'm wondering now, because I did a story on this situation months ago, and I was curious. I'm like, if this man raped you, why are you under this same exact photo? He ha ha, saying like a happy family how much Roxy looks like him. I wouldn't want to have nothing to do. I wouldn't want to see a man's face that allegedly gripped me. So that's questionable. I wonder. But they spilling all their family business. And these two just don't get along at all. And they really have something against each other. What? I don't know. But let's keep going.
You
And
mad?
scams.
You mad?
You lying demon,
You mad?
bitch.
You mad, ain't you? Huh?
You mad at the truth?
I need to
Or
get in
what
That's
contact
the
with
truth.
Crystal.
That's
I need
the
to get in
truth.
contact with Crystal Gambo.
She a demon, bitch. She want to keep on making Sierra a victim.
Gambo.
Sierra got to
Y'all need
stand
to
up.
find
You
Crystal
need
Gambo.
help. She got to get help.
Y'all
Because the
need to
shit
find
that
Crystal Gambo.
hurt people, Shank. Hurt people,
And
hurt people.
you are the one.
She's got to
Hey,
accept that she
she
got a
jumped on her
problem.
own sister when she was in the beauty salon. She jumped on her own. She
And
jumped
you know
on
exactly
Sierra.
why.
Yeah, you demon
know
bitch.
exactly why.
You
So stop
demon
playing
bitch.
dumb.
You a
Yeah.
demon
Exactly why it
bitch.
happened.
You a
got
demon,
it.
dog.
Sure is.
You
Like I
know.
said, you're a sorry excuse for an elder in his family.
And now
I
you're
ain't
bringing
ashamed to
your
call you a
kids
cousin.
into it. Now
Well,
you're
my
bringing
son
your
grown, bitch. You got my daughter crying
you know
outside
where I
the
live.
car.
You know where I live. Pull up. Pull up. You know where I live. Pull up. Pull
There
up.
go.
Pull up.
To these.
You know where I
They
live.
want
You know where I
man.
live. Pull up.
That's why I'm mad,
You know where
y'all.
I live.
These
Pull
bitches
up.
demon, man.
Pull up,
They've
bitch.
been coming for us
Pull up.
all
You know where
fucking
I live.
year.
I'm sick of you
All
now.
fucking year.
I'm sick of
Stay
y'all. Pull
quiet.
up.
She's a liar.
Pull up and we can
She
resolve
probably
it.
took
Pull up and we
Nasiah.
can
You
resolve it.
bitch, you
Pull
drive the
up.
truck.
Just a
You
mouth.
dirty
Just
bitch.
a
Where's
mouthpiece.
Nasiah?
Just a
Where's
mouthpiece.
Nasiah?
Pull up.
Where
Pull
are the
up.
fucking
Pull
clothes
up.
on Doing
You just a
Planet,
mouthpiece.
bitch?
You
Where
just
the
a mouthpiece.
clothes?
You
Since
just a
you drove a
mouthpiece.
truck to
With that,
Texas,
with
bitch.
that
Where's
community
Nasiah?
nah. Pull up.
Where's
You know where I
Nasiah,
live.
bitch?
Pull up and we can resolve it.
Truth hurt, don't
Where
it?
Nasiah, bitch?
Truth hurt.
You put her in your fucking truck? Where Nasiah? Because your daughter mad, bitch. Your daughter be in the city popping bottles, spending money, blowing bags, bitch.
Worried about the
Where's
money I gotta
Nasiah?
make. Pull up.
Nobody has to.
Hate
Pull
that
up.
bitch, dog.
You're
We got
I hate
50
that
something
bitch.
years old.
Shit.
Grow up.
Where
You're
the
talking
fuck
about
is Nasiah, bitch?
grow up. You're 50
Pull
something years old.
up. Pull
You're
up.
50
That's all you gotta
something years old.
do.
Grow up.
So we can
Grow
get
up.
it
Don't
out.
pull up to
So we
a
can get
nursing
it
home.
out.
You're
Pull
too
up so
old
we
for
can
it.
get it out
Grow
and
up.
get over with. Pull up. Pull up. So we can get over with it. So we can get through this. Pull up, because this is what it's gonna take. It's gonna take for me to beat your ass. Pull
Girl,
up.
I will beat the brakes off you,
Come
you
on in.
old
Come
bitch.
on. You know
I
what
will
I
beat the brakes off you.
Come
You
on,
know
you know
it.
where I live.
You know it. I will jam cross the fuck out
Hey,
you.
hop in your
I
car.
will hit you
I'll
with a
give
liver
some
shot
gas
so
money.
cold,
I'll give you
bitch,
some
you so
gas money.
cold, you won't know you had a liver.
Pull up,
Sick of you demon, bitch.
Pull up so we can get
Hate
it
this
over
bitch.
with.
Anyway,
Pull up.
back to the
Pull up so we can
subject.
get it over
Where
with.
the fuck is
Pull up.
Nasiah?
Pull
How
up.
did your daughter get
Pull up.
Nasiah phone? How did she get Nasiah phone, Kenya? Why
We
is
ain't
it that
got
your
nobody
daughter
we
was
wanted-
the
we
only
would've
one?
went through.
How is it that your daughter found the pink jumpsuit?
So you
Huh?
don't want to put them
Your
lies
daughter
out there,
all of a
huh?
sudden was out there finding evidence and shit. Right.
Pull
Y'all
up.
some fucking liars.
I'll give you some
Yeah,
gas
liar.
money.
She wasn't in the city, liar.
I work for fucking
Liar. All of a sudden, Nasiah came up missing on the 9th, bitch, and your daughter drove out of town on the 6th. Bitch,
so
closed
you
the house on the
said
4th.
Roxy drove
Lynn said she
Nasiah
was here in February. The end of February, she never knew where the fuck is Nasiah. Y'all know where she at, bitch. You know where she at. But y'all trying to spin it around and make everybody hate the people that know we fighting because we know you bitches dirty. She been out of town driving.
I got some
You a
gas money
liar.
for you. Pull
You
up.
think you say fucking lie?
Pull up.
You only using these people. You using these people because you want to clear your fucking name. That's why y'all was dropping all them lies on the internet from the Nasiah phone so people can get off y'all ass. Because y'all people are starting to realize that y'all liars.
Okay.
Yeah, that people was on your ass.
Hey, like I said, I got some gas money
ass.
for you. I got some gas money
Fucking
for you.
demon.
Some money, pull up.
better do it.
Artesian in Rosedale Park, bitch. I don't stay in a roach infested apartment like you.
Bitch, I got a 6-bedroom house.
You do got a 6-bedroom. You got 3 bedrooms, a bathroom.
Kiwana.
Yes, where's Nasiah? Where's Nasiah, Kenya, and Roxy? Where's she at? They know the truth. Y'all better stop letting them fool y'all. Because they know.
Janelle, I just had one question for you. You could decline or do you know why Nasiah didn't go on the Disney trip?
Because Annette really wouldn't let us get Nasiah or Murray. Shannon's children went because those are Shannon's children. Annette didn't really let us take them kids to Mirror. Like, she would let them go with Shannon and Marquita places, but I've gotten Marquita's son because her son and my son were close. They're close in age. I've taken him places, but I've bought things for Nazaya and did things, but as far as letting her come, one time they let Vari come, and it was like, okay, he can come, but then before the day was even over with, when you bringing him back in the morning? It's like, dang, he trying to chill for the weekend with, I got boys, so he trying to chill for the weekend with, the older boys. But that's why Nazaya couldn't go. But if she would have let her go, she could have went. It's been other things that we did. Shannon kids were able to go because Shannon provided for them to go. Marquita's children, I haven't really had access to her daughter, but I've been around birthday parties and things like that. Her oldest son, because our sons are 2 weeks apart, he would come over, more often or spend more time. That was the last time I seen Nazaya. When I picked him up for a trip, June 18th of 2022. And then Nazaya, she want to go places that Ned wouldn't let her go. She wouldn't, if I asked could she come, she wouldn't let her go. She barely would let Vari go. Like I said, Vari was able to come one time. And they was like, he can come back, like now. Like, you thought he was coming over to spend the weekend. Nope. So I don't know what it was with Annette. I think she was upset that, like when Shannon started hanging around me, she started doing better, seeing different things, doing different things. Then all of a sudden, she started bad mouthing me to Shannon because I don't think she liked that we was close. Well, and then she moved back in with her mama, and between that and Jarvis, when you beg somebody to leave somebody alone and they don't listen, they don't see it. I kept telling her, leave him alone, leave him alone. When I found about the accusations, I'm like, why are you protecting him? Like, call the police, let them investigate it. The kid's lying. That's what she told me. We talked to the kids, they lying. They said that the reason why they said that was because he wouldn't get them no money. Ain't no 8-year-old little girls, 8 and 10-year-old little girls gonna say that. 8 and 10-year-old girls should not even know anything about sex. Those children were over sexualized. I constantly told her that. Sending messages on the internet to people that they don't even know. Vulgar messages, 8, 9, 10 years old. And I always told her, I said, I want to be the auntie on the news saying, I should have did something. I should have called the police. I should have called CPS. So that's the reason why I don't even understand why she told me, because she knew I was going to tell. She knew I was going to report it. And then now I know she over there ready to hang herself. Because I told her, I said, if you keep on playing around with him, something going to happen. I didn't know exactly what it was, but something going to happen. Because he was bad news all around. He wasn't no good things about him. He was a horrible individual to her. He was a horrible father. And he was a sex offender. He was a pedophile. And she would lie. Oh, he not over here. Oh, I'm not talking to him. Forget Jarvis. Next thing you know, she pregnant. It was like he was a ghost.
Did he ever try to?
Huh?
Did he ever try to holler at you?
No, absolutely. I was never around him like that. I can tell you, like, I would see Jarvis in the first time I saw him was after Janiyah was born. 5 minutes tops. He dropped her off some diapers. Then the next time I saw him, I think it was when I wasn't there today. He picked the baby up from my house. That's the day I found out he was a sex offender. But I saw him. He came to the baby. We threw the baby a birthday party. He popped up there at the end of the party, so he wasn't even there maybe 20, 30 minutes. And I'm looking like, who invited him? Like, why is he here? Then after that, I think it was one other time that I saw him. I had to take Shannon somewhere, and she said he was coming to watch the kids, and I'm like, oh my God. So when I got there, I picked her up. He wasn't there yet. Somebody else was there. I took her. When I came back, he was there, cussing and fussing about why you taking so long, and he was leaving. Like he was getting ready to jump in the car and pull off. I threw Shannon a baby shower. He came. He was there for like 30 minutes prior to the baby shower. Annette and them had him come help set up the foods. He was there 30 minutes and left. But I wasn't around Jarvis like that. I done went to some of her kids' birthday. He wasn't there. Jarvis, it's weird, like the relationship that they had, because they was messing around with each other, but you never saw them together. She would post stuff on her Facebook and block his face out. So then we'd be like, oh, that must be Jarvis. I just wish Kiwana and Kenya can agree to disagree and move on. But I'm not sure how. I can't speak for Kenya, but I can speak for Kiwana. She is hurt by some of the things that Kenya says, because Kenya knows personal things about Kiwana, and it's like she just inching towards, hurting her even more, and that's messed up. So.
Any last words before we get out of here, Janelle?
No, I'm just, like I told Kiwana, I'm done with all this. I'm still gonna fight for Naziah in my own way. People may have a different opinion about how it should be handled or what we should be doing and different things like that, but you can't tell somebody what to do when you ain't lived through it. Like, we know exactly what happened. We was there dealing with it. People only got bits and pieces, and then some of the bits and pieces is lies and misconstrued information. So that's what they're basing their opinions off of. And that's messed up, because when I'm the one who initially, when I felt like the police wasn't doing anything, it wasn't getting any news present. I'm the one who hates to be on, don't like social media and all of that. I'm the one who went to Mark and said, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I need to get this information out there, because I don't feel like the police are doing anything. And unfortunately, it didn't go exactly how I planned to go, but I feel like whatever happens in the universe happens for a reason. And maybe this is the process that it needs to take, the journey that it needs to take. I'm just hoping that this journey leads to getting complete justice for Naziah, because we know that complete justice has not been served. Everybody needs to be held responsible who didn't do or say anything. And then I feel like the authorities need to be held responsible, because we did what you're supposed to do, and they did nothing. We reported it not once, not twice, multiple times. We've talked to police officers. When Vari ran away, we told them about what was going on, the allegations and stuff. They ignored us. DPD dropped the ball and didn't even question the Naziah in the CPS case they did look at. And then now all of a sudden, they're involved. CPS is involved. They've been watching the case closely and involved. So, like, now they're covering their asses. I really do think this is a cover up, because DPD dropped the ball. CPS did their job. They came out and did the interview. They sent it over to CPS. I mean, to DPD. DPD dropped the ball. They did not question Naziah. They saying that the paperwork was filled out. They didn't know, but her name was on that paperwork. They did not question her. The school dropped the ball as well. You can't tell me that school didn't see some signs, some things, you know, that wasn't right. That last day, she said she was on the floor, and you didn't make sure that she spoke to a counselor. If she couldn't speak to counselor, you should have pulled her aside and let her speak to you until you can get a counselor or the principal. Something was definitely had to be wrong that day. How was she marked apps? She was marked present on the 10th, but went missing on the 9th. How did that, it's just stuff that just don't add up to me. It just don't. Detroit Public School Police even taking the case. Even taking it. Why would y'all even take it? I mean, maybe y'all took it for 24, 48 hours, but why did y'all keep the case for 30 days before handing it over to DPD? We gonna get this, but we ain't gonna, because if you notice, they are starting looking at information from around June or so of 2022. Well, this shit happened in February of 2022. I reported it in April of 2022 when I realized that Shannon and Annette wasn't doing shit. So why we not going all the way back to then? Shannon sat on that stage and said, out of her mouth, there were never any accusations of any type of sexual relationship or romantic relationship with any of the children. Well, that's a lie because my CPS report states that from April 2022. So how does she get to sit up on a stand and say that there was nothing going on when there's a whole CPS report and multiple other ones stating the same thing, and she's not being held in contempt? She's not being charged with neglect. Annette knew. I told Annette when I found out that he was a sex offender in 2012. She told me she don't get in her kids' business. She knew that Jarvis was a sex offender. She allowed him to come around the house. She allowed him to come around the children. She allowed the children to go to the shop, which I didn't even know that the kids were going to the shop. You gonna allow the kids to go to the shop with the sex offender? And she was allowing the kids to go to the shop with the sex offender after I called CPS. When I told Shannon, I called CPS on you and your mama because y'all didn't call and do shit. Shannon knew I called CPS. She knew I called. Shannon says on the stand, Ramon, I see the messages between you and Tuda. That girl ain't never called that man Ramon in her entire life. She either called him Jarvis or Jay. That was a warning. She called him by his middle name. That was a warning to let him know that the police are here. She don't never call him Ramon.
One last question coming from the chat, Janelle. Risky says, what made you check to see if Jarvis was a SO?
Because Shannon was living with me at the time and she decided to let him take her oldest daughter when she was a baby. I don't think she was even 6 months old, to take her for a couple of days. And the first day he had her, he got arrested with the baby in the car. His family had to get the baby, and the family called Shannon. We had to go get the baby and all that. So me being curious, I want to find out what the hell did he get arrested for while he was supposed to be spending time with his baby. And while I was Googling his name to find the charges, the sex offender from Otis popped up. His information from Otis popped up. And I read it and I said, Shannon, do you know that he's a sex offender? Yeah. And she went with that same line. Society gave him another chance. And I said, Shannon, society did not give him another chance because he got to check in.
So there y'all have it. What I will say is, like I've been saying, Kiwana and Janelle, I gave my flowers to them for doing what they did. But I will say, I feel like that Janelle is the most logical one. She know how to handle herself when she's on these panels. Also, I feel like, to me, that she kind of do regret being around Jarvis, knowing that he was a pedo. I just think it's hard for her to admit that, being that people might look at her and just scrutinize her and come after her for it. But she won't admit it to us, but allegedly I feel like she do feel a way that no matter where it was at, even if it wasn't Disney World, which I feel like it was Disney World, but no matter what, she just feel like it was times that she was around him and shouldn't have been, because now look. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Bye.
TV, we bringing the new.